Hey everyone, hey Wellness Crew, and welcome to today's reading of The Art of Contemplation, A Gentle Path to Wholeness and Prosperity. Techniques for Daily Practice. Contemplation in Action, The Road to Self-Mastery. You now have in your hands the script for a new kind of life, a life teeming with potential and a clear road to follow toward self-mastery. The only thing that remains to be done is for you to follow the script and bring it into your daily life. There are many ways to walk the path of contemplation. Working with this book is an obvious way. The concepts presented may seem simple, but they contain hidden depths that will continue to emerge gently as you reread the text and contemplate it over time. The final section of this book lays out some additional ways and means of applying contemplation in your life. There are many specific techniques that you are invited to adapt, embellish, or use as inspiration to find your own approach to contemplation, one that suits your particular lifestyle. You are also invited to be playful and imaginative in how you blend such techniques into your life. This is, after all, the purpose of this book: to bring the art of contemplation off the page, out of our minds, and into action in the world. Thank you so much for the like. Anything can be used as a means to enter the field of contemplation, and it can deepen or increase your focus in any endeavor or activity. Above all, the techniques below are designed to bring your life into a full new dimension. They are portals into the deep mystery that lies just beneath the surface of our lives. As you experiment with the techniques and innovate your own, it's important to remember the core purpose of all contemplative paths, captured so beautifully in a line worth contemplating by Mohiuddin Christie, a revered early Islamic saint: to develop river-like generosity, sun-like affection, and earth-like hospitality. Wu Wei, effortless action. As you can see, there are many rewards that spring from a dedicated practice of contemplation. The final reward concerns how we act in the world. Contemplation will create ripples in your external life. Although you will become more patient, you will also become more decisive. You will learn when and how to act appropriately according to your circumstances. In China, there is an ancient Taoist wisdom known as Wu Wei, which refers to the notion of effortless action. Effortless action is a fusion of measured reason and intuitive insight. Wu Wei is the ultimate reward for contemplation. And far from being some arcane mystical concept, it is highly practical in nature. Every day, we are faced with thousands of decisions: physical decisions, such as what to eat; emotional decisions, such as how to handle your own or another's anger; and mental decisions, such as how to successfully complete a task at work. Imagine now that all these decisions are made for you by an inner master, a wise, compassionate being with an uncanny skill at reading every situation that arises and responding accordingly. This is Wu Wei. Contemplation also teaches us how to say an open-hearted no. Sometimes our intuition leads us in a direction that may disappoint the expectations or wishes of others. At such times, we need to be so certain of our decision that we do not fall prey to guilt. We can use courtesy and gratitude, but our decision is clear and in tune with a greater harmony. We needn't apologize for ourselves or try and invent reasons to try and make the other feel better. It is best to simply be open-hearted and honest. We cannot always see the results of such decisions until later, but we can feel their correctness inside us at the time. In the long run, such decisions will be better for everyone concerned. Contemplation teaches us how to tread the fine balance between action and inaction, guiding us through the power of our pausing. All important decisions require pauses for consideration. On occasion, however, an action also needs to be made immediately, without the luxury of a physical pause for consideration. To be harmonious, such actions must spring from a worldview rooted in kindness and altruism that we have nurtured over many years of contemplation and insight. This is the ultimate harvest of your contemplation, to act effortlessly, without anxiety, guilt, or doubt. To let life choose through you, while you remain but a witness to the wheeling panoply of wonders that is your life. Contemplation in movement. There is a long tradition that connects all forms of movement with contemplation. Movement done from a contemplative state becomes ritualistic, turning the movement into a kind of sacred theater. Anything you do, whether hobby or vocation, can be transformed into a contemplative dance. As we enter the contemplative state, our breath deepens and our mind begins to empty out. We learn to find subtler and subtler pauses, the pauses between breaths and the natural spaces and rests that arise within any activity. Above all, we can begin to see the activity itself as a pause, and our minds can rest while our bodies remain in motion. Contemplation taps into the spring of creativity that lies in each of us. When you are performing any moving task, try and do it as though it is the very last task you will perform before you die. When you do this, the task will become unique. Even though you may perform it 1,000 times, it will never be the same task, but will always surprise and delight you in some way. To perform your daily activities in the spirit of contemplation is more than simply being mindful. It is elevating that task to the status of an art. The secret of contemplation and movement lies in the intelligence of your hands. Instead of your mind, allow your hands to lead you through your day. Bring your full awareness into your hands and watch the hands as you might watch two butterflies dancing. The more attention you give to your hands, the more graceful your movements will become. Imagine that you have no body, but for two hands moving through your day. Walking contemplation. Few things in life are as healing to the human spirit as walking. Even though it is something most of us do every day without thinking about it, walking is an opportunity to come into deep rhythmic harmony in a short space of time. As you walk, feel the soft earth beneath your feet. Tune into your movements and allow your body to find a natural and easy rhythm. Rather than rushing from A to B, try and leave more time so that you can saunter and enjoy yourself. Use walking to feel your breath moving in and out and luxuriate in your own movement. You can also use walking as a means to consciously contemplate a certain subject or challenge. Walks have a beginning and an end, so you can deliberately go for a walk and allow the rhythm. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's very kind of you to say. Of your movement to unlock the rhythm of your thinking and feeling. St. Augustine once spoke the famous words, Solvitur ambulando. By walking, it is solved. Sometimes by just going for a walk, we return with an answer to something we have been mulling over. You can also apply this to a walk with a friend. If you feel the need for a deeper intimacy or connection with a certain person, invite them for a walk and let the contemplative space emerge between you. Two bodies and souls moving together create a space for pausing, pivoting, or merging. Running contemplation. Running is a form of exercise that can be practiced into quite advanced age, so long as you have a basic level of health and mobility. It is particularly suited to contemplation, although in a very different way from walking. Running involves considerable exertion, which pumps the blood through the heart and releases endorphins into the body. Along with the rhythm of our breath, these chemical changes create very good conditions for pivoting, seeing and feeling an old pattern in a new way. Running often involves pushing through various levels of discomfort, particularly if you are running in a hilly or rugged landscape. Sometimes the greatest effort is simply deciding to go for a run when you don't particularly feel like it. Offering us a physical mirror of our life, this willingness to push through our inertia can do wonders for our spirit, not to mention our physical and emotional health. Another important aspect of running is connection to the landscape and the culture in which you live. Even in the city, you are urged not to wear headphones, which only isolates you from your environment. When running, we get to breathe in our environment with all its sounds and smells. It is perhaps the purest form of dynamic exercise we can do, although there are plenty of other types, such as swimming and cycling, which afford similar contemplative opportunities. There is a great difference between one who runs solely for health and one who runs as a contemplation. The contemplative runner does not need to compete in any way. The contemplative runner runs because he or she loves to enter the field of transformation and freedom. Another benefit of this style of running is that it rarely leads to injury because it is rooted in listening to the rhythm of one's life rather than imposing one's will over the body. Contemplation and sport. The overlap between sport and the art of contemplation lies in the twin areas of rhythm and focus. Every sport relies on our being aligned with the inner rhythm that comes from our core. Every sports person will at some point have had the experience of being in a zone of focus in which their movement arises effortlessly and perfectly. This is most likely the unconscious reason why we are drawn to sport, to experience this uplifting sense of a deeper harmony and perfection through movement and coordination. The very purpose of contemplation is to align us with this paradoxical inner state of focus and surrender. Thank you so much for the like. Whatever sport you are involved in, whether it involves individual participation or you are part of a team, contemplation will greatly increase your sense of timing, fluidity, and focus. Whenever you are engaged in your sport, bring attention as often as possible to the contemplative state. The more you cultivate contemplative stillness outside your sport, the more you will be able to tap into it when you are in the midst of movement. The results may well be astounding to you as you find yourself more and more in that magical zone of focus, where everything comes together in perfect synchronicity. Sitting contemplation. Too lazy to be ambitious, I let the world take care of itself. 10 days worth of rice in my bag, a bundle of twigs by the fireplace. Why chatter about delusion and enlightenment? Listening to the night rain on my roof, I sit comfortably, with both legs stretched out. Ryokan. The above poem by the Zen master Ryokan perfectly catches the spirit of sitting contemplation. Less formal than meditation, with its focus on posture and technique. Contemplation begins from right where we are in our life. When we do sitting contemplation, we should sit comfortably. Neither do we necessarily need a formal idea of what we are going to contemplate. If we have an idea, that is fine. And if we don't, that is also fine. Sitting contemplation is about creating a space for our own inner guidance to emerge. Over time, this practice can take many forms, but it should have no specific goal. Thank you so much, Pat. I really appreciate that. I always appreciate you joining my live streams. As your contemplative practice naturally deepens, sitting contemplation will become more attractive to you, since it gives you the chance to experience many pleasurable and serene inner states of being. Many of the contemplations given in this book are well suited to sitting. A clean space. One of the hallmarks of contemplation is simplicity. As you learn to contemplate, you will learn to gradually simplify your life. The less cluttered your external life is, the less cluttered your mind will feel. This contemplation is therefore about decluttering your life. Choose a space or room that you inhabit and discipline yourself to clean it, both literally and energetically. Pick up the various objects and ask yourself whether they are essential to your life. Imagine you are introducing someone to the art of contemplation for the first time, and the first thing you show them is this room. Clean, dust, and sweep everything until it shines with the spirit of simplicity. Recreate this room as a mirror of the internal space you wish to cultivate. Over time, you can perform this contemplation in many spaces and in many ways. It can also be a gift you offer to others to help them clean out their spaces. This contemplation is both process and reward, and the reward is also found in the process. This contemplation is also a discipline you may need to maintain, especially if you share your space with others, particularly children. Clearing and cleaning a space can be transformed from a chore into a blessing when you see it as an integral part of your daily contemplation. Serving tea. In China, Taiwan, and Japan, there is an ancient tradition in which the serving of tea has become a symbol for the depth and beauty of the contemplative state. In some respects, the ceremony itself is a metaphor for how we may live our lives. Indeed, any activity in which you are serving others can be imbued with the same depth as the art of serving tea. Today, tea remains the most widely drunk liquid in the world after water. The beauty of tea is its simplicity, which makes it the true drink of the contemplative. Traditionally, tea is brewed in a small pot and drunk in small cups or bowls, which allows it to be brewed over and again in a single sitting. Each time the hot water is added, the leaves release another level of flavor and nuance. Those drinking the tea are therefore taken on a contemplative journey together that leads to a subtler and more refined spaces. This whole process can be done formally or in silence, or informally, just enjoying each other's company. Wherever you live in the world, this is a contemplative ritual you can learn and share at any time with anyone. Urban contemplation. It may be tempting to believe that it's harder to be contemplative in a noisy and busy environment like a town or city. This urban contemplation is somewhat unusual and perhaps even a little mischievous, but it can totally change your experience of being in busy places. It involves your putting aside a specific time to be in an urban or busy environment solely for the sake of contemplation. Deliberately go to a place where you often feel overwhelmed or stressed. This could be a bustling market, a supermarket, a shopping mall, a train station, or even an airport. Be the only person who is there for no reason other than to deepen the contemplative state. Fill up a shopping trolley and then empty it again. Stand in a queue for no reason, or just sit and watch people going about their business. The point of this contemplation is to be in such spaces and be utterly calm. Just breathing deeply and enjoying your own presence, like an actor on life's stage. Once you have done this and found peace within yourself, the next time you are in that place or a similar place, you will be able to go straight to the reference point you have created and tap into that same sense of peace and detachment. Food contemplation. Everything you eat or drink is harmonic in nature. Food alters our chemistry from the moment it enters our bloodstream. The food we choose to eat and the way we eat it, therefore, has a major effect on our contemplation. A good habit to develop around food is always to pause before selecting it and before eating it. Sometimes our hunger drives us to eat something which we later regret. When you look at food, contemplate the state it will leave you in once you have digested it. Eating the right food at the right time is like listening to the music that we love. And preparing food yourself is like playing a musical instrument. The preparation of food is an ancient form of alchemy. Food prepared while in a contemplative frame of mind will be soothing both to the body and to the soul. Another important thing around food is to be wary of eating when we are not hungry. Nowadays, when all manner of food is so readily available, our senses are bombarded by all the sights and smells of food. Many of us may be eating too much food too often. The art of contemplation helps to make you immune to the lure of excess, while at the same time celebrating the wonder of taste and the feast of the senses. Musical contemplation. Like food, music is a kind of nourishment that feeds the soul. Contemplation can be enhanced by playing or listening to the right music at the right time. Sometimes the right piece of music can supply the perfect entry to the contemplative state. As with cooking, selecting the right music to harmonize with a specific mood and environment is a subtle art we can learn to master. Part of this mastery is also to know when to enjoy silence. Silence is the spring from which all contemplation flows, and the more you practice it, the more the music of silence will grow inside you. Thank you so much for joining me today for this reading of The Art of Contemplation. We are really close to the end of the book, so I think probably just one more live stream and we will be done. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and or join one of the membership tiers as it is popping off with content. Oh, it's getting windy. And I will see you on the next video or live stream. Be well, stay wild as well.